But here's the thing. The market is open for 30 minutes before Powell. Now, his speech is it going to be live, or is it going to be a speech that he's going to give and they're going to release the text? I don't know. That's very, very important. Okay? Zoom. You now have a beast number on Zoom at 361. Underneath that is a do not touch it at all. Do not touch it at all. It's just garbage. Okay? The thing opens up 12, ends up almost negative. You can't play that stuff. Okay? Interesting. Amazon was strong yesterday. Don't know why, but it was relatively strong. Does it run today if there's no taper? I don't know. Transparency. The Fed talks about transparency. The president talks about transparency. Everybody talks about transparency. They don't even know what it is. They don't know what it is. All right, we're going to be transparent. We're going to let you know exactly what we're doing. Really? Interesting. It fascinates me the amount of stupidity that exists in the world. We are going to be so transparent, we're going to know exactly what we're doing. This is what Powell says. This is what the Fed says. So Powell is going to come out, he's going to put out a statement, and he's going to say something. I mean, you see this every month in his press conference. He says, we haven't even started to talk about tapering. And the first question is, when are you going to taper? The second question is, are you going to talk about it next month? How's that transparent? It's not transparent. It just generates questions. Why don't you just come out and say, we're not going to taper till January. And then we'll evaluate January, and on the January meeting, we'll tell you if we're going to taper after. Why not just be completely direct? If you want to be transparent. Or don't say you're transparent, because you're not. You want to generate questions. Okay? So just know this. If you know this, then you can play accordingly. You may like it or you may not like it. Doesn't really matter. Just matters that you know. But 5 Fed presidents coming out and said we need to taper, economy's hot and all this stuff. Do you know the economy hasn't been hot in 40 years? There's been no inflation for 40 years. 40 years. No inflation. For 40 years, Ella Laria and all these people have been coming out and saying, you need to raise rates, you need to raise rates, you need to. For 40 years, no inflation. Oh, but this is different. Interesting. Then we see. So the first 30 minutes today is to just wait and see. If he says we're going to taper with a higher number, then we're going to dive. If he says we're going to taper and then says we'll taper more soon, what do you think happens if he says we're going to get everything off the balance sheet by the end of 2020? SPX down to 500. Odds of him saying that, 1%. Because they're not transparent. They don't tell you anything. They just say they are. Okay? China stocks, lower again. BABA back down 5. Ridiculously weak, the China stocks. They're going lower. Gary Gensler pretty much told you they're all going to be delisted within 3 years. Interesting. Snow was up yesterday nicely. We got out, then it stopped. So it's just Afghanistan is a nightmare scenario. It's just bad. It is. It is what it is. Okay? Then we see. So everything today is a then we see. Okay, Omid's not with us today, so that's what we know. Okay? ASND. This one moved very, very well yesterday. David. ASND, like David. There you go. This one moved very nice. This is human growth hormones moving very, very nice yesterday. Trying to figure out how much of the market this can really get, et cetera, because very cheap. If it's real, this thing's going to go to 200 pretty fast. Okay? SRPT. Did I say that one? SRPT. SPRT, I'm sorry. SPRT. SPRT, my bad. This one's running. Where does this one go? 40, 50? I mean, this is just crazy huge. $6. This was $6 last week. It's at 30. They're squeezing it again. Interesting, right? Interesting. So keep an eye on it, keep an eye on it. And then we see. SPX is up 8. NASDAQ is up. If he says no taper, and he says, here's what I do. See, I'm cockier than Powell. I would come out and say, I told you we weren't going to taper. And you had other people come outside and say they were going to taper. Well, who are they? That's what I would say. Why are you listening to other people? I told you I wasn't going to taper. That's what I would say. And the market would rip. Then we see. I don't know. So that's what I know. But be ready for both sides. Tesla's now going to try and do electricity in Texas. Well, Tesla's going to do everything, so who knows, right? Interesting. Okay, so that's what we know. Have to wait till 9 and see. Fed's future on Powell, Fed share to speak at 9. Well, yeah, Leisman's talking, but nothing big. Okay, so that's what we know. Okay, let's get started here. Okay, good morning, everybody. 8:27. Market all about 9 a.m. Central Time. Okay, Powell's going to put his stuff out. Don't know. 3 scenarios we told you. If he does more taper and he tapers than people thought, then you're down massive and you started for a massive correction. Okay, if he just sticks to his thing and no taper, nothing till January, doesn't even mention it, you probably run pretty heavy. Okay? And then the last one is maybe he takes the market down and then it pops back up. Yeah. Or nothing happens there. So let's see what happens. That's the action. Watch for the news instantaneous. Okay? SPX up 9, a little bit better, back to 44.80, 45.09, 45.52. Downside 44.31. Lam Research increased dividend 598.603. CRM needs yesterday's numbers 274.281. PANW looks like it wants 500, 472 next. Crowd was added to the NASDAQ. What a move. Has earnings next week. 282, 291. CRWD. CRWD. There it goes. Thank you. Goldman Sachs. Does this move with the market? If it does, it can go 432. Snowman back down 3, back down 5. It's in no man's land. Shopalicious needs 1,600 to really accelerate. Vaccines up a little bit, but every time they open up, they go lower. You got 396, 372 down. You got 416, 422 up on mRNA. Thank you, ma'am. BNTX, 372, 379. Zoom, 361. GME, huge number now at 241. If it ever gets to 241, it's going to move like you can't believe. CMG. Could not take out 1952. Very interesting. Very interesting. MDB, Mary David Baker earnings are next week, I believe. Very pricey. Looks like it finally wants to go through 420. Google, if this gets through 2852, it can run all day. Tesla, in no man's land. It doesn't move. It's a sucker trade every single week. It's a one-day trade, 1 hour trade. It moves up and then goes lower. Moves up, goes lower. Don't know when it goes. Don't know. So just wait. Comments, questions. To be announced in September, maybe. Robert Kaplan calls for taper starting in October. Today is August. Interesting. Sam, what about Tesla news? Not relevant. The energy thing is not relevant. Okay. Please repeat hormone growth stock. ASND. Alpha Sam Nancy David. Peloton earnings downside. Interesting. 101 is huge. SPRT moving. Yes. Will cabal affect the market? Depends how bad it gets. Okay, so that's what we know. Okay, thanks everybody. Keep an eye at 9 a.m. I don't know if they're going to release this 5 minutes before he talks or something like that, his speech. Or they don't release it at all and you have to listen to the whole thing. Don't know. Okay? That's what we know. Thank you, Letitia. Hope everybody has a great day. See you in chat.